Peace everybody, it's Don Pedro with another DeFi tutorial. Today's video will be focused on what's known as auto-compounders. Before we get started, I'd like to make it be known that I'm not being paid in any shape or form to create this content. The sole purpose of my videos is to educate those that are new to DeFi on the tools that they have available to them in this space and how to use them. With that being said, I'm also not a financial advisor. So please don't take any of this information as financial advice. It should strictly be used for educational purposes only. So when a user supplies digital assets to liquidity pools or yield farms in general, they earn rewards over time. These rewards have to be manually claimed, right, as they accrue. What the auto compounder does is automate this process of claiming the rewards, and not only does it claim the rewards, it reinvests the awards back into the original investment. Because auto compounders continuously reinvest these rewards back into the original investment, this creates what's called a compounding effect. Now, anyone that is familiar with compounding interest knows that this can greatly increase the yield generated from that investment over longer periods of time. The obvious benefits to using auto compounders would be, of course, the compounding interest effect. This could also save the user time and gas fees by not having to manually harvest rewards. So this is a good strategy for users that plan on holding a particular asset for a long period of time, or those that intend to be in a LP for longer periods of time. So some of the biggest names when it comes to auto compounders are Yearn Finance, you've got Defi Finance, you got Reaper Farm, shout out to the Byte Masons. But in today's video, we're going to cover Yearn. So first thing you would want to do is go to a website such as DeFi Llama or CoinGecko to find the official domain for any protocol that you would be looking for, right? So we'll use DeFi Llama today. Type in Yearn in the overview tab. And they'll give you some of the metrics on the protocol, like the, total value locked, market cap, token price, etc. You have the website in there, their Twitter handle. So click on the website. Official domain for Yearn is yearn.fi. All right, so on their homepage, you have governance tab. You got, their blog tab. You got the documents. I always recommend those new to protocols read the documents so you can learn how these protocols work. Yearn documents are extremely helpful and well written. So Yearn Finance is one of the pioneers in the yield aggregation space, or the auto compounding space. This protocol was developed or released in early 2020 by a man named Andre Cronje. Anybody that is familiar with Phantom or the Phantom network is definitely, or should definitely be familiar with that name. So what YearnFi does, or Yearn Finance does, is it uses what they term, or smart contracts, what they term as Y vaults. Y vaults stands for Yearn Vault. All right. So what these Y vaults do is route digital assets that have been deposited in them through pre-programmed strategies that search for the most profitable yields offered in DeFi. This whole process is completely automated. So from the user's perspective, all you need to do is deposit your assets into the vault and reap the rewards, essentially. And whenever you want to withdraw, you can withdraw at any time. So in this example, we're going to use the V3 vault. The particular vault that I'm looking at is the Wrapmatic Vault, which is currently paying out 11.46% APR in the Wrapmatic token. So this is a good strategy for those that are long the Matic token and want to accumulate more passively. All right, so we'll click on this vault, and on the vault page, they offer some pretty straightforward information: the total amount deposited, the historical APR. Down here, you have a description of the vault. This is a multi-strategy Wrapmatic vault. In the Vaults tab, it gives you a breakdown of the strategies being used by the smart contract. So, for example, you have the Comp v3 Wrapmatic Lender Borrow strategy, which basically supplies Wrapmatic to Compound Finance to use as collateral. It then borrows on that collateral, borrows USDC on that collateral, right? It deposits this USDC back into Compound Finance. Compound Finance pays its rewards in the comp token, right? Once these rewards are harvested, they're sold for more Wrapmatic, and this Wrapmatic is then deposited back into Compound Finance, and to repeat the loop. And it basically loops this over and over again. Now, again, all these things are automatically done by the smart contract. This just gives the user information on how the yield is generated for this smart contract. Okay, so we're going to deposit some Wrapmatic into this vault. We'll click the approval transaction. This first transaction is approving the amount that this smart contract is allowed to take out of your wallet, right? So by default, for some reason, it's always set to a crazy, insane number. A safe practice is to only approve the amount that you're inputting into the contract. In this particular example, I'm depositing 100 Wrapmatic tokens, so I'm going to type in 100, right? So what this is saying is that this contract can only access up to 100 Wrapmatic tokens out of my wallet, right? We'll go ahead and approve that transaction. All right, so the next transaction will be the actual deposit transaction. Let's approve that. Confirm. Okay. So once a user deposits an asset into the vaults, what they receive is known as a vault token or a receipt token. All right, this receipt token will carry the abbreviation YV and in front of whatever the underlying asset is. So in this particular case, we're depositing Wrapmatic, so the vault token is known as YV Wrapmatic, which stands for Yearn Vault Wrapmatic. So what this vault token represents is the user's share in the current vault, right? As this vault generates profits, the value of the vault token increases, because what the vault token represents is the user's underlying assets along with any profits that have been generated over time. So now, whenever I'm ready to withdraw the assets, what I do is click on the withdraw button and essentially input the token, the vault tokens, into the smart contract in order to receive my deposits as well as any interest that has been accrued. Okay. Another note to take is the fact that there is a fee that is charged for using these vaults. Okay. There's a 0% managed fee. They don't charge a management fee, but they do charge a 10% performance fee. Now, this 10% is charged on the rewards that are accrued over time. Okay, so it's not 10% on your position. It's not going to take 10% from your position that you've initially input. What it does is it takes any rewards or any profits that this strategy generates. It will take 10% off of the profits. Okay, so that is something to take in mind. Now, again, this is a relatively safe way to accumulate, but like anything in DeFi, there are risks involved. One thing that you should always keep in mind is the fact that you have smart contract risk. Now, that's with any smart contract in this space, because everything is code, based off of code, right? There's always the chance that codes can get hacked or there can be bugs in code. Now, Yearn is one of the pioneers of the space. They've been around for quite some time. They do have audits, quality audits, and they are constantly being battle tested. But again, always keep that in mind, that dealing with any smart contract, dealing with any code, there is the possibility that it can be hacked. All right, so lastly, I want to share another tool, because I do understand that one thing that is kind of hard for people is a way to keep up with their portfolio. If you're using multiple smart contracts or you have funds in multiple different places, sometimes it's hard to keep up with your funds. So there is a website called Yearn. It's Yearn.io. All right. And what this is it's a portfolio tracker. So you would click on this track portfolio button to open up the app, and it will give you an overview of your portfolio. So again, we just did a deposit into the Yearn vault on the Polygon network. So I can click the Polygon button just to narrow it down to everything that's on the Polygon in this wallet, and we can check our position. Scroll to the Yearn position, and it will show our current position in Yearn. Oh, whoops, let me click that. All right, which it shows that we have the Matic token in Yearn in the Yearn V3 yield pool. It tells the balance of Matic and the current value, right? So that's a very powerful tool, or a very useful tool to keep track of where all your funds are at in this space. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it was informative. If it was, please like and subscribe. If there are any questions, feel free to reach out in the comments section. And thank you for listening. Peace.